value that I bring to the table. We're moving from information technology to intelligent technology. So if you're not utilizing intelligent technology, you're behind. If you're only using information technology, you're behind, because anybody can get information. What I was saying before is that when you go to Google, when you Google something, all you're going to do is get like, 10 links in your Google feed that you can then click on to get information, right? You don't need to do that anymore, right? You can get information just by going to Chat GPT and asking that question, and you'll get exactly what you're looking for in the format that you're looking for. You can still go out to a Google to get a link to get more information about a company, but because AI is now integrated with the internet, it's no longer I have to go to Google first. You're going to end up going to AI first, and then probably like a Google or search engine second. I hope that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense, and I'm not going to take away from my next question I want to ask you, but I'm getting an education at the PhD level. What I know is coming down soon. So my next question to you is, how important is this for all the viewers to actually understand the importance of what you talk about, just the information to the innovator to understand and utilize artificial intelligence?
The importance right now is that you have to become familiar with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to back up even before. A lot of people still aren't what I saw called savvy in the digital world itself.
Mm-hmm.
Digital platforms. Social media was introduced just 15 years ago. Nobody was doing, Facebook was, 2010. Go back to 2010, right after we came out of the Great Recession. This is when social media just started really creeping up. And here we are now, and it's explosive. They're some of the most richest businesses in the industry. When you think about your Facebook, you saw the power of Twitter just with one president. And if you even back up before what Trump was doing, look at how Obama got elected. He was the first president to really utilize social media to actually run his campaigns on, and he was talking to a larger audience that he never could before, and it allowed him to get elected. That shows you the power of these digital platforms. And then when you know how to use it for business development, you're going to be leaps and bounds ahead of other people. Right now, the typical sales funnel, let's just say you're a business person, would be like, how am I going to do my marketing, right? Obviously, you've got to create some assets, but then what was your motion like? And usually you did something like, hey, I may run a commercial if I had money like that. I might put something on the radio if I had money like that. But what a lot of people do, all they're going to do is, I'm going to send you emails and I'm going to make phone calls in order to entice you to in my product or service. I might be able to introduce myself maybe for the first time at a trade show or at a networking event, and then I would follow up with a phone call and the email. And because you're somewhat familiar with me, maybe you'll take that call. That's really was the sales motion. That's changed. Meaning this, you need to put your content strategy on top of that now. Because what people do first is they use search and they do social. So they're going to look you up first. They might listen to you at a trade show or something to that effect. Or even if they see an email from you, or possibly a phone call, because now they got caller ID, they can see if I'm going to take that call or not. They can easily look up 5-star BDM. What is this really all about? And they're going to look up that information either through Google. They can even now type it in to Chat GPT and say, well, who is Grant McGaw and what is 5-star BDM? It's going to pop up. Who's curating that information? If you're not curating that information, that means the information that comes up was made by someone else. I am intentional about putting that information out there. So I know if you Google me, what shows up. I already know that because it's going to pick up the social media platforms first, because that's what comes up. Your LinkedIn, your Twitters, your website will come up. And anything else that you're putting on these giant search engines, they come up first. So if you were putting out content on these platforms, those platforms will then display your content. So I'm allowing Google to do my own advertising for me, right? I want to give enough information to Chat GPT. So you're like, all right, when you're going out to Google, that's typically what it's going to do, is going to go out to the internet and that type of thing to get information. If it can't, or if it has information in this database already, what is it about? So I wanted to feed it the information about myself that's going to come up first. This is a content strategy. And so now you're top of funnel. So then when I walk into a trade show, people already knew who I am because I've already got so much content out there. I've got my content with my podcast. I've got my content with my TV series, people that I'm interviewing like yourself, Philip, and that information is out there. And so they already know who I am. And it's a great feeling to walk into a room like, hey, Grant, how are you doing? 5-star, man, tell me more about that. I don't have to say anything. From a salesperson, man, that's beautiful, and they already know what I'm about and what I do. So now I need to just fill in the blanks, how I can help them and begin really get into the sales motion from that aspect to be of service for somebody else. So if you're following me, why do people need to be involved in this? Because especially if you're listening to this network, you're an entrepreneur, you've got to understand that people need to become aware of you, know what you do, and you need to be visible. Because if you're not visible, how can they do business with you? And this is a great way to become visible for very low cost, that you're allowing these technological platforms to be a sales engine for you.
I like that. And what I spearhead off from that is, I mentioned, because when I read your bio, I have a myopic view how important branding is, but just enough to know that it's important. It is just as important as having good heart, really.
Yeah.
And so my next question is, how does the entrepreneur really comes to grip, and how do you touch, move, and inspire them to come to grips with that they really need a branding expert like yourself?
That's a great question. And a lot of times I tell them my own story. And this is a true story. It was about 10 years ago. And I was working for a Fortune 500 company. I just got hired on a huge telecom company. And I had to fly out to Denver to go to training. Typically when you go to training, they're going to give you all the, the company information about the product, their history, and you're going to meet some of the company executives, and then they're going to send you on your merry way, and hopefully you're going to be successful. So what this company did was a little different. They did a training in which they said, you know what, I am going to change the way you sell. The typical tenure of a global account manager is around 18 months, the average, 18 months. So they don't let the life cycle of training somebody, getting them ready, getting them out into the field, actually see how they do, and then possibly then see if it's not working out, and then they move on. 18 months, that's a big investment for somebody. They want to extend that because they want somebody that remembers the face of their brand to be with the company 3 to 5 years or even longer. That's the goal, right? So how do you do that? So they said, hey, we're going to teach them how to utilize social selling. Social selling meaning how to utilize LinkedIn as a business tool. Now, this is 2014. And in 2014, LinkedIn was still looked upon as like a monster.com, like an Indeed. You put your resume out there and people either seek you out for a job, or the opposite, somebody else is hiring, right? So that's what it was used for. So he said, who do you want to talk to? This is the trainer speaking. Who is your ideal client? And so, well, we want to talk to the vice president of information technology, of course. He said, okay, all right, let's pull up a profile of a vice president of IT at a firm that you would want to connect with. I said, great. They pull him up. He's got this beautiful background banner. It's nice. He's got the well-crafted professional headshot, right? He's got a beautiful story about himself and who he is and why he does what he does. He's got his full resume is pulled out in the experiences section, and you see where he went to school, and you see all these different articles and top of mind things that he's interested in from the post that he's put out there. And then he said, okay, this is the guy that, or girl that you want to work with. He said, yeah, let's take a look at your profile. So then they pull up my profile. And I tell you, 2014, it was not nice. You know, they pull up my profile. I had a full body shot. It looked like I just walked out of Starbucks or McDonald's or something like that. You know, real casual outfit. That was it. I had nothing on my banner page at all. It was just blank. And then, you know, what it had for my title was just like IT sales professional. That was it. And then I just regurgitated my resume onto my LinkedIn profile page, and that was it. So he said very candidly, why would this person do business with you? And I'm telling you, man, I was floored. It was stark. It was night and day. It was very obvious. You are not on this guy's level. You're nowhere near. You know, you are not projecting a business profile at all. And this is so important for people to understand, especially when you're on a B2B profile or network like LinkedIn. You're in business. You should look like you're showing up for business. You're in this person's office, like I am in your office right now. How am I showing up? Because if you start showing up like you're casual and you're not really serious about your business, and the person that you are reaching out to is very serious about their business, and if you want to take up some of their time, and here's another thing that I learned from that training. He said, how much do you think a vice president of IT for a Fortune 500 company makes as far as salary? And he said, well, I'll just cut you the chase and I tell you, they're going to make anywhere from $300,000 to $500,000 a year. It's like, wow, that's a lot of money. He said, yeah. So that's a year. How much does that come down to, like a day? And he said, well, I'll do the quick math. It's probably around $500 or so a day. It might be even more than that. No, it's more than that. It's because I think it's $500 an hour.
Yes.
Maybe $200 an hour. So let's just say it's $1,600 a day or something like that. What I'm getting to is, if you ask this executive for an hour of their time, you're asking them for $500 to $1,000. And I want our audience to understand, when they're asking for somebody's time, you're asking them to stop. You're asking them to stop making money and to look at what you're doing to possibly make them more money, I would hope. But you have to understand that their time is valuable. So if you're going to ask somebody for an hour appointment, and that you already know that's $1,000, be like, Grant, you just cost me $1,000. What are you going to bring to the table? And I need to be able to bring him at least $10,000 of value, if not more, that takes up his time. And I've got to be able to communicate that in a way that he realizes that before he even makes the appointment, that I'm bringing him value. And it's very valuable for him to stop what he's doing and create an appointment for me so we can have a conversation. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And so my next question to you is, how do you constantly prepare with this train moving, and you have to paint it so beautifully and make this thing aesthetic? I speak aesthetic on one end, but I'm talking about fully functional and secure on your end when we come to the social media and all the digital entities or network goes on with that. Because we got cybersecurity. That's a part of that. So how
Yes,
do
it
you
is.
constantly prepare? We're talking about Black business networking, and we're talking to people who are aspiring to get to your level and beyond. And even in the future, we need to understand, I need to understand, how do you constantly prepare and stay at the leading edge of that?
That's a great question. And I've made it easy for myself because I have a world-class podcast and I use the podcast for business development. And I use that to talk to industry professionals. So just like now, this week, I had a podcast around Latinas in cybersecurity. So I get to talk to somebody that works for Palo Alto. Palo Alto is one of the biggest cybersecurity firms in the United States. And I'm talking to their program manager, and she's telling me about cybersecurity. So I'm learning from everybody that's on my show about the latest trends, the latest challenges, what's going on in the industry and why this is important. And everything is pretty curated in a way. So I have technology innovation, I have executive presence. These are different series that I have. Career, business development, brand, and brand mastery. So when I truly want to learn about something, I bring people to my show and I learn about it. And I talk. I also read, obviously, I read a lot of books. I tune into YouTube's just like this, if it's on YouTube, that type of thing, different programs. And I gain information instead of turning on the television set, like right now, and somebody turns on CNN. What are you really learning out of that? Most of the stuff you already know. They're just regurgitating the same stuff over and over again. But is it really helping your business? Does it move the needle forward? And you're going to take an hour of your time, and I want our audience to do that same math for themselves. How much is an hour of your time worth? How much is an hour of your time worth? And you're going to give that time to a program that's not educating you or it's not helping you in any way. It's just noise. So you need to take it upon yourself to use your time wisely. That's what I do, and I found it very effective. I love things like YouTube. If I want to know about marketing skills and tactics, I can just go right to YouTube, listen to I could spend 8 hours and binge out on the latest and greatest and what's happening. I have different people that I follow that I think are great. There's one guy, his name is The Future. He's actually a Asian gentleman. He's probably in his 30s or 40s. He's phenomenal about brand mastery. I'm not like the only one that does this type of work. I need to learn from others. I like Mike Kim. So I follow him. I see what's going on and what he's doing. I talked to Gary Vaynerchuk, what he's doing. And then I did something so phenomenal last year that I had my brand mastery podcast, and I invited brand masters to be interviewed on my show. I had the godfather of branding on my show. His name is David Ocker. He's been doing this for 40 years. He's written 18 books, and he came on my show and talked about all the latest and greatest trends in brand mastery. That's how I'm able to do it.
I see. So your recommendation, you would say it's a continual learning thing.
Oh, and you have to do that. You cannot, if I utilize the same tactics and tools that I had, let's say pre-COVID, I'd be lost.
Wow. And what I heard in that answer was that you have shift the paradigm to the point whereby you like that CEO. If you're coming in here and I'm giving you 200, I'm giving you an hour, that's $200 to $500 an hour. You have made that your personal goal and drive at home, at life, in your personal life. If information doesn't come into my presence, a sphere of influence that's going to move the needle, I'm not going to give it any time.
That's it. Very little time. Yes. And that's discipline that I've learned over time because I've been sucked into it. Or some people get sucked into social media. You're sitting there, you're watching this stuff, and it's like, what is this really saying or doing? Am I learning anything, or is this just taking up space? And so flip the script. People say, oh, social media is bad. Like, no, it isn't. It's how you're utilizing it. That's what's bad. So I would hope that you can use it for good and educate yourself. I mean, you can really learn some great skills. You can get a lot lot of great information where before you had to go seek a lot of this out. I had to go to Phil and say, hey, I got to book time with Phil. I got to find out all this stuff, and it'd be better use of your time if you've already done the research. So then when I come to you, I can ask better intelligent questions and better use of your time.
Absolutely. So I'm going to ask you a question. So I need better use of my time with the time you already put in and doing what you're doing and coming to the level you are. That is, can you give us some network, social media? I can Google your name, but you could give us some links that we can contact. We can look at your information and learn more about what you have to offer, because I'm personally inspired and interested.
Absolutely.
I know others are inspired and interested.
So yeah, you're right. My contact information is very simple. 5-star BDM. That's the number 5, right? The numerical number 5 star STAR BDM. B for brand, D for development, Infomasters.com. You'll see everything there. You'll see 150 different podcast episodes that I've had to have a knowledge library for you. If you want to learn about technology, hit the technology button. And you'll learn a ton about technology. If you want to know about business development, hit the business development button. You're going to learn a lot. And then you start getting into my services around business and technology, around personal brand services and things of that nature, all the way through. And you can obviously send me an email at grant.mcgaugh, that's MCGAUGH, at 5starbdm.com.
That's amazing. I tell you, is it anything else? Because I'm full. You remind me when I had my pastor, the number one pastor. I said, someone tried to get me to go to another church. I said, no, I'm being fed here. I'm being fed.
Good. Excellent. Well, this has been wonderful. I'll go ahead and leave you. I know you're going to close this out and let us know about the great sponsorship and scholarship that we have on this show. And then I might return at 2 o'clock with my friend Sidney Warnsby. We'll have another conversation.
I appreciate it so much. This has been very inspiring. I hope all those that have been in attendance of the Black Business Network feel the same. Thanks again, Mr. McGraw. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we just had an extraordinary session. And I just want to let you know that every dollar that we use and come to the network, it counts. And to remind you to donate to the Scholarship Fund. I also want to remind those and thank the Black Businesses Expo USA sponsors of March 2024. Those like the NC 100, the Moody Capital Partners, the Sway Soul, the Lotus Ritchie Coaching and Training, Carolina and Virginia Minority Supplier and Development Council, the Step Management, as well as the Margie McLean Foundation and Corporation, the Genius in Common, the Earth Essential, McLean, Shanique Global, the Executive Women Success Institute, the Quality Coaching Company, as well as the Superwoman Business Services, the Creative Force Studios, the Lee Entertainment, Arthur App Design, as well as the Black Business Expo USA. Please, would you be so kind? We gave the time. Give us more than a couple of dimes to the Black Business Network. Genius, we'll see you on the other side.
Dr. Eric Kelly III, and a host of phenomenal speakers from all around the globe for this 7-day virtual event that you don't want to miss.
The mission of the Black Business Expo is to raise scholarship money from kids all the way from high school all the way from college. The Black Business Olympics is one of the largest Black business showcases in the world. It is an opportunity for businesses and companies to showcase their businesses globally. We are going to be giving away laptops up to $5,000 away to students. Again, I'm Olivia Appleberry, the founder of 2 Cents Finance and one of the speakers for the expo. I am so excited to see you there. For more info, go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090 and hope to see you there.
I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep. Yes, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Tell me, are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? Listen, I support Black business because I am Black Business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. The world! Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black Business.
I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black America in North Carolina. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-380-9090. I am Black Business. I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black America in North Carolina. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-380-9090. I am Black Business. I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black America in North Carolina. Sign up today.
How many times have you been asked to help someone you didn't even know, a student, a business entrepreneur, or did you ever even ask, where did they end up? that business, that friend, that entrepreneur. Well, just maybe they ended up in a gang, bankrupt, homeless, or worse, dead. Maybe they turned to crime, drugs, and alcohol. Did you ever wonder? Did you destroy their dream, or was your life always so easy? At the Black Business Olympics, we started a movement to help students complete. Give them hope and foster success. Help them to leave their dreams of providing laptops, computers, and up to $5,000 in scholarship funds. Today, we ask you to help a student, a business owner, or an entrepreneur to realize their dream by sponsoring them, supporting them, and buying from them. Consider this. With $1.6 trillion in our Black community, we only ask for a small donation for our students, our businesses, and our entrepreneurs. And you can change a life today. So I ask you, what are you going to do? Sit on the sideline and watch our students in high school be leaders, miss out on their dream from lack of resources? Or are you going to donate to the movement and change their future and yours as well? Give us a call today at 919-308-9090. Change their life by investing with action to the Black Business Olympic Fund. The Black Business Olympics, one of the largest business showcases of Black business in the history of the world.
Over the past few years, we've seen the growth of existing and new initiatives focused on financial inclusion, building global networks, and reducing the wealth gap in response to the idea there's not enough seats at the table. Whether their outcomes are to increase the representation of Black executives on corporate boards, ensure an inclusive global economy, or to create new U.S. African commercial pathways, the strategies are often carried out by separate programs. The question is, should they be? With the continent of Africa being home to more than half of the world's fastest growing economies, the youngest workforce, over 400 companies generating more than $1 billion annually, 700 generating more than $500 million annually that are poised for growth, and being the destination of nearly $5 billion in venture capital in 2021. Diversifying U.S. and Africa commercial engagement by building bridges between African businesses and their U.S. diaspora should begin being seen as mutually beneficial. From helping to reduce Africa's enormous capital gap to catalyzing two-way trade opportunities, the COVID-19 global pandemic hopefully has taught us that global challenges and opportunities are more interconnected than we thought. During the pandemic, African companies like Unicorn Flutterwave, insurance provider Reliance Health, ride-hailing app Yasir, and 54Gene, the continent's first bank of DNA on people of African descent, proved that when African companies have access to networks, capital, and information, they grow big, grow fast, and create solutions that are valuable to the world. This is why Be Direct was created. We are the first U.S.-based but African-centric board preparedness and board search company designed to connect U.S. Black talent and corporations to African businesses. Unique and fundamental to Be Direct's success is our process of helping board candidates adapt their experience and networks to an African context before they're connected to high-growth companies that are looking to locally and globally scale. From our focus groups with African business execs and government leaders, we don't ignore the sentiment that business is easy, but people are hard. Having a pool of board candidates with hard-to-access networks and extensive experience across the business life cycle, including successfully raising capital, is table stakes for an initiative like this. So yes, we have that. But corporate or entrepreneurial success in the U.S. does not guarantee success in Africa. Developed alongside industry partners on the continent, our training program, BDirect Prep, is designed to transpose their experience to create cultural comfort, understanding, and a commitment to helping businesses in Africa scale. Our board governance sessions are African, continental, and country-specific, integrated with cultural awareness and dexterity training, masterclasses led by African industry execs, and mentoring and coaching from African continental-based facilitators. But even more unique to BDirect Prep, we cap off our training program with an immersion trip to help candidates that have not been to Africa before see and feel Africa's complexity and opportunity from African soil. We all know traditional network-based board placement has historically left a lot of us out of ever really being in the paid board pipeline. Our strategy supports the work of many great organizations that are successfully filling seats at U.S. board tables by creating more tables for those that are still left on the sideline. It's time to start seeing the role and value of U.S. Black talent and businesses on the continent of Africa differently. Old perceptions and habits limit economic inclusion. Let's transition Black talent and the African businesses they will support from the periphery of the global economy to its core. Living in a global lockdown, we all know now how fast local and global economies can change, and see the value of having businesses that hire, strengthen local value chains, and even grow globally. Status quo in any form holds back progress. We must democratize U.S.-Africa commercial engagement by socially and economically connecting cultures that have long been disconnected. It's time for Africa's U.S. diaspora to redefine their global value by helping African businesses scale continentally and globally.
What if you could build your own city? A place where every child can find nurturing people to help them achieve their full potential. A place where every adult can access job training support. Where health education is abundant. Where social justice ruled the land. A place without limitations. Welcome. You have arrived at STEM City USA. It is what every city should be. A safe and trusted community where you find people and resources to help you become everything you are and beyond. STEM City is unlike anything you have ever experienced. It is a digital twin of the world around you, only better. STEM City is about energy and soul renewal. It is more than a digital world. You can almost feel the power of live cultural events, music, and theater. STEM City promises a better future for children with caring mentors and hands-on activities with dedicated tutors to support our youth. STEM City is your passport to a healthy lifestyle with weekly events addressing our community's many issues. STEM City is your financial well-being with helpful information on wealth management, career advancement, job training, and so much more. STEM City is the community you deserve. It is the city where your dreams can come true. STEM City USA, a place in the sky that is accessible to all who reach for the stars.
Did you know that approximately 333.34 million businesses exist today, according to a report from 2021? And you may be one of those businesses, or maybe you're not in the business market yet, but you're aspiring to be a business owner. Well, guess what? You're in the right place at the right time. Because let's face it, everything is about timing and opportunity. Hi, my name is Dr. Lotus Richey,
and I'm the CEO and founder of the Lotus Richey Coaching and Consulting LLC, along with the Lotus Richey Ignite Show. 15 minutes of success with Dr. Lotus Richey, as well as books to boom your business and bring who you are. And today, I want to bring this amazing message to you about the Black Business Network and the Black Business Olympics. See, the Black Business Network and the Black Business Olympics is designed to help people just like you, that's right, that look like me, to take their business to the next level. Not just in your front yard or your backyard, but globally. The Black Business Network and Black Business Olympics is designed not to just help you survive, but to help you thrive. So join us today as we come together with businesses all around the world to support our students, our children, our young teens, our young entrepreneurs. What we do is we come together to help raise funds for students who are aspiring to be business entrepreneurs, who are aspiring and who are thriving in college. We endow them with a wonderful opportunity to gain scholarship of either a laptop or several thousands of dollars. And we invite you to help be a contributor to this amazing opportunity to help someone that looks just like you. So join us today at our website and let us connect with you and help you ignite and take flight in every area of your life on the Black Business Network and the Black Business Olympics. I'll see you on the other side.
I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black Business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black Business.
The Black Business Expo's mission is to raise funds for high school seniors going to college or K through 12 entrepreneurs. This expo is a fundraiser for students. Please, you may go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com to donate to the scholarship fund or use the Cash App at $BBXUSA. Our goal is to give laptops and up to $5,000 to 10 students. Students can register online at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com. Every dollar counts. Please donate to the Black Business Expo USA Scholarship Fund.
I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep. Yes, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Tell me, are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? Listen, I support Black business because I am Black Business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. The world! Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black Business.
Good afternoon, and welcome, business owners and entrepreneurs and thoughtful leaders and corporations to the Black Business Network. My name is Philip Newby, and I'm your moderator for today. The Black Business Network is a 24-hour business network showcasing businesses and business owners and entrepreneurs and then thoughtful leaders around the world. We have speakers from North Carolina, London, Singapore, Africa, Japan, and all across all the cities in the U.S. The Black Business Network is a global community where Black business owners come to empower, touch, move, and inspire business and business leaders. I want to introduce to you today our next guest speaker, Sydney Wormley, a former executive and a business solution for both established businesses and startup business for over 30 years. Sydney has a success in the development and integrations of solutions of top business companies such as CTI, JP Morgan Group, as well as Citibank and PepsiCo. He is also an educator in all education and serving as an adjunct professor. So I bring to you, without any further ado, Sydney Wormley, our next speaker.
Good afternoon, Phil. How are you?
Outstanding. To you?
Can't be better.
I want to pronounce and make a correction. Wormsby, correct?
Wormsby. Right. That's good.
I didn't know whether I came out clear on that.
No, as we always say, you can call me anything, just don't call me late for dinner, right?
Well, you seem pretty healthy. I welcome you again, and I look forward to hearing all your expertise. 30 years of experience.
Yeah. So it's some of that with corporations like Eastman Kodak, like International Paper, like Citigroup, like JP Morgan Chase, like Pepsi, running businesses for them, global as well as domestic, all functions. But then taking that to be on my own, to help other businesses, kind of get where their vision and dreams are. So, afternoon, Grant. Grant and I are going to do a fireside chat. Good to see my good old friend, Grant McGaw.
Always a pleasure. And me and Cindy will have a great conversation. Thank you, Philip. And I'll say it for you. Genius is common, and we'll see you on the other side. You're welcome. All right, my friend.
How are you?
Up there, and it's springtime in New York.
Wow.
As usually, you get to come out from the darkness and enjoy a little bit of fun. Is that what you're doing?
Well, it's springtime in some places in the world. Springtime usually means warmer temperatures. It's still, it's in the 50s here. So it's not, it's not the 70s and, warmer like you have down in Florida. So we're still trying to catch up to that.
Yeah, this is our moment. This is when we get our opportunities. This is when you come to Florida, especially in the March time frame. March Madness is going on. A lot of spring breakers are here because it is ideal. It's not rainy. You're going to get your 70s, probably I would say low 80s, 70s,
right?
Low humidity. Obviously, that'll change in the summer, but it's hot everywhere in the summer.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and take you while I can. But since I've got you here, we had talked a little bit about this earlier, and I think it's important for our entrepreneurs to understand the business development process from a sales pipeline perspective. How do you get in front of your ideal clients to begin the sales motion and then obviously get to a closed deal? And there are several modes. Let's just say right now, no one knows anything about Sydney Wormley and his business. What are you doing to bring somebody along that road when they're maybe a suspect to a prospect to a client? What are some of the best practices that you're using?
Well, one of the first things, and when I work with clients, and this, from your work with your clients also, Grant, It's amazing how many of them don't know what their true strengths are, haven't really spent time understanding what they bring to the table, what their true brand is or what it should be relative to what their target market is looking for, needing, wanting, etc. And so, one of the things I tell folks all the time, and one of the things I do, specifically, is understand who I'm talking to or who I want to talk to, because based on who I want to talk to, then I need to understand, well, what do they want to hear? I know what I want to say, but I can't just go in there talking about what I want to say. I got to be saying something that they want to hear. Otherwise, they're going to tune me out. And so it's part understanding who I am and what's truly unique about me. But who are they? What do they want? What do they need? We always talk about pain points. What's that problem that they have that they don't want? And what's that benefit that they want that they don't have? And how do I use what's truly unique about me to eliminate those pain points? And so I start with that really at the core of my understanding, because then it's easier for me to know what I need to say, because I know what they want to hear, what they want to talk about, what's of concern for me, for them. And then I can, initiate the conversation based on that. I even know what the lead phrase should be or what the lead topic should be based on those things. And so, that's first and foremost. And if you aren't spending the time knowing and understanding that, if your first thought is when you're going to be in front of someone, I need to tell them all about my features and functions, you've lost, you're done. They don't want to hear any of that. They don't really care. Your features and functions don't mean anything to them. And I think I told you this story before. When I first got out of grad school and was working for a company, I was working in a in-house consulting group for the company at the corporate office, reporting to the board of directors, meaning that whatever we did as a project, that report went right back to the board for them to make decisions or to evaluate people, et cetera, et cetera. And we would go out as a team of consultants, and there was always a lead. Me being right out of school, I was not the lead. I was the junior person. And the woman that led me was a woman. Her name was Virginia. We called her Jenny. And every time we would go in to speak with these division presidents and heads to initiate a project, she would spend what would seem like hours in this chit chat conversation at the initial meeting. And I, being freshly out of grad school and chomping at the bit, would be like, oh my gosh, when are we going to stop this? Let's go. We got a project to work on here, et cetera, et cetera. And I finally kind of worked up the nerve to ask her, when we were out at lunch one day away from the client, and I just said, why do we spend so much time on that kind of chit chat conversation? And she said, Sydney, that's where you learn what's really important to them, what they're really struggling with, what they're really focused on for the business, and where they think the business is going, and what other projects or activities they want to solve and resolve. So we're going to spend time on that, so we really get to know them and they get to trust us. And it was a lesson I will never forget. And she wasn't doing it and saying it to be preachy or teachy. She was saying it as a matter of fact. And what I came to learn, and understand is that is it. It's stop being so in a rush to tell them what great things you can do for them, and first just understand what great things they feel they need from you. This is what I want to solve. This is what I'm trying to deal with. And so that's the first step in that process. You want to get in front of folks, first understand what they're trying to deal with, what they're trying to struggle with or struggle through, what they're trying to solve, and then be ready to have a conversation with them about that and how you can be of service to them about that. So that's how I would answer that from the first part or from the first step.
I love that first step. I remember being a journeyman in sales, and they had a similar type of story, but it was an analogy about a doctor's office, and said, when you go to a doctor's office, how would you feel if the doctor, when you first walked in, and he starts telling you about all the great surgeries he has done, right, and he starts showing you all the different diplomas on his wall, and he starts, just really going into it, and you're like, and then finally, oh, by the way, why are you here?
It's like, Doc, I got a pain right here. What does your degree have to do with that?
Like, yeah, but usually when you go to a doctor, they want to do an examination. It's an assessment.
Right.
The first thing you should do is an assessment. What are you experiencing? What is happening to you? Now, you assume that you're at the doctor's office, that the doctor does have the credentials and the credibility to be able to help you. You make that assumption, but you are there. His first question should be, what is your particular ailment and your problem? And if you're seeing a general practitioner, he really needs to know that, because he's then going to give you a referral to a specialist. Right. So I want to refer, like Sydney is a specialist. He's a specialist. So when I come across certain individuals and they have a certain need in their business and what they're trying to accomplish, I want to listen to that, really understand that, and see, all right, what capabilities do you need to match those requirements? And I see, you know what, Sydney has had incredible experience in the executive world, especially in certain manufacturing settings, and understanding how to if you need a turnaround project, let's just say, you know what, I'm managing, either a business or I'm managing a department. We're not meeting our numbers. We're not meeting our goals. And I need some coaching around that. Otherwise, I might not be, in this position in the next 3 to 6 months. So I need a specialist. Is that if I refer that person to you, Sydney, would you be able to help them?
So the short answer, yes. And I always, it's oxymoron. I always say I'm a specialist at being a generalist. Folks often, well, what does that mean? What does that mean? For me, I'm a very holistic, approach person, that nothing kind of is out there disconnected from everything else. And so the same is true with business, that every function of a business is tied together, stems from something, and you need to understand the connections and the interconnections between those when you're going to solve a problem. How does this relate to that, et cetera, et cetera. And so yes, my diversity of experience and my approach in general allows me to see all of the aspects and how they're connected, how they're integrated, and therefore what's the right solution based on what I heard you say you wanted. So if you say this is what you want, I'm very cause and effect, also very analytical. If this is what you say you want, I know here are the things that make that happen. So I'm going to tell you what to do and what you need to do to make that happen. And when you're not doing that, I'm going to say, wait. You said this is what you were interested in, but you're not doing that. Why is that? Is there something I didn't understand properly? No, that is what I want. Then you need to change your behavior. You need to change your actions. You need to change your process, because they're not aligned. And this is what's causing the problem. Here's what's going on. Or I also use this example a lot. I had a client early that called me in for what they said was a inventory issue. That they were, having too much inventory. It was, spoiling and going to waste, and they were losing, costs and expenses, and they needed something to be done with that, and and they wanted to understand, what kind of solution should they be putting in place. And so, when I went into the assessment, I saw the damage, and what was going on and how much stuff they had in in their warehouse, et cetera. But I also know inventory doesn't get there by itself. It's put there. Somebody orders it, somebody bills it. So I started, digging into the process. What is there? Is it work in process? Is it raw materials? Is it finished goods? Which raw materials or which finished goods are there? And the net of all of that work, I identified you don't have an inventory problem. You have a compensation problem. And the response and the reaction, the visual reaction of the president of the company at that point was, this guy's crazy, get him out of here. That was, he didn't say the words, but you could tell that's where his eyes were and what his facial expressions were. He's like, yeah, I didn't know what he's talking about. So I went into depth. I said, look, you guys, changed your, products, last year. You offered some new, products and introduced them. You created this whole production ERP, process for that, new forecast and projection, but you never changed your compensation strategy and your compensation plan for your sales force. And so they're going out selling what made them money year after year after year. And that's the old stuff, not the new stuff. So your manufacturing is building to this new forecast for this new, new products and new technology. But you got a sales force that's out there selling something completely different because it's putting money in their pocket and feeding their families. So you don't have to change anything with your inventory system. You got to change something with your compensation system. And that's a lot quicker to change than going out and changing your whole inventory process and system, yada, yada, yada. So at that point, he's like, oh, maybe this guy does know what he's talking about, et cetera. But it's that kind of understanding of how things work together that people need to, as a business owner especially, but that you need to really understand, figure out, and then manage. And part of the problem is too many business owners. Again, it's the tried and true statement, and it sounds trite and overused, but because it's tried and true. Too many business owners are working in their business and not on their business, so they can't see the issues with their business. Right. And so if you really want to understand it, you have to be able to hover above, take a step back, be able to manage all the pieces because you're able to see all the pieces versus being stuck in one silo. And if you're stuck in one silo, all you can see is what's in that silo. You don't know what's going on in the silo next to you or the silo over there, or how it's impacting what you're seeing and experiencing right here, in this silo. So, that's, that's the longer answer to your question of, yes, I can help them. And this is why I can help them. I had that kind of, insight from my past experiences, that kind of approach, from my analytical way of looking at things, and my, commitment to being holistic in the solutions I provide folks.
I love that. You got a tried and true system. And what you said was so important. If you're too close to the business, it's like if you're in your house, you can't see the neighborhood, right? Because you're only in your house and you can't see what is happening around, all the roads that are in and out, all the other things that are interconnected to your home that allows it to work. Now it goes all the way to the water, the electricity, all the utilities, and right. A lot of other things that have to take place in order to make the home inhabitable or to make the business run. And that was great insight on sales. As being a salesperson right. for a long period of time in my life, business development, we used to say we're coin operated. So if you want to understand your salespeople, they're always going to be coin operated. Compensation right. drives behavior, and not just for salespeople. Executives are also the same. They have compensation packages. Here are your targets. Here are your goals. This is how you get the big bonus at the end of the quarter by doing this. So if whatever manufacturing, let's say, has done isn't aligned with the compensation package, let's say for operations or for finance or other key parts of what needs to happen, especially in sales and marketing, you're going to lose. Right. But you're not thinking those things because what you say, if you're working in the business and not on the business, it's different perspectives. And I've had to learn that myself because when you're in the game, that's why, notice a football game, you always have certain coaches that are almost like in the press box, right?
Yep.
They're above the game, as you said, hovering. They can see the field and they can see what their team is doing. They can see what the other team is doing, and they can then plot out strategies. Usually your offense coordinator, defense coordinator might be up there to looking like, all right, and they signal down a play to the head coach, who then gives it to the player to go and run. But if you only have line of sight, you're only going to have a very small view of what's taking place, and you most likely won't be as effective. So Look, Sydney is that guy in the press box, right?
Yeah, yep. And there was you mentioned that, and there was it was a college football coach who was a defensive coordinator, and the first half he always spent up in the box with the headphones on, talking about, so that he could do exactly what you said, that he could see what was happening, what was going, where were we breaking down on our defense versus, where were we breaking them down on their offense, et cetera, et cetera. So where were we being successful and where were we not? What was going on? Who was on the field? And he could see all that from up there. And the second half, and typically it was the fourth quarter, he would go down to the field, because then he wanted to be right there with them, kind of being the captain, not the general now giving strategy, but the captain being, here's what we need to do, guys, and kind of fire them up, et cetera, et cetera. But it's understanding there's two different perspectives. There's a different perspective when you're, on the field. And there's some things that you can do. But if you're the business owner, you will go on the field every once in a while, just, to get the feel of the or the temperature of the crowd, of the team, of the business, et cetera, to feel the pulse, be able to communicate, pass on your message in word, have people see you, be one of the people, all that other kind of, stuff. But you can't live down there. You got to be where you can see and manage the entire thing to work on your business. If you want it to grow, you want it to be the same thing that it's already today, then fine, be there. Go do that. But then it's going to take you being there all the time for that thing to even just maintain and hold steady. But you'll never be able to do the things because nobody else is going to have that interest in making it get bigger. They might, let me change that. They might have the interest in it, but they're not going to have the authority, the responsibility, and usually not the dedication and commitment to making it grow, as you would as the owner, as the president, as the head, as the founder, the chief cook and bottle washer, whatever. You've got that responsibility. They're relying and depending on you to do that. So you have to be in a place where that's gonna happen and that you can make it happen. So I use this model, this concept, for the business model, the basic business of the three-legged stool.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we've talked about it before, but basically, if you think about a three-legged stool, that seat is the business. Those three legs are then what's supporting the business.
Yeah.
And so, what are the three legs? Every business has one leg is a find them. One leg is the convert them or the catch them, right? And one leg is the serve them. So if you don't find them, catch them, serve them, you can't support that business.
Right.
Right. And if one of those legs ain't doing what it's supposed to do, that stool crumbles, that business falls on the floor. And so all three of those things need to be happening. And as the owner, as the head of that business, you need to be able to manage all three. Because if you're on one of those legs, then you can't do anything about the other two legs. You're stuck on that one leg. But if you think of that same model, if you want that stool to be sturdier, what you do is you put a beam, some kind of connection between each of those legs, right?
Yeah.
That makes it sturdier. Oh, I can hold a little more weight. It can carry a bigger load. It's the same thing with a business. If your find them, your catch them, and your serve them are connected, which they are, but if you put in processes and systems and to make sure that they act as one unit, then it's a more solid business model and more solid business structure, can carry more load, which was, what is that in business? It's revenue and profit. And that's what you're managing. Now I can manage multiple stools even, right? I can look at that stool over there and that stool over here, and I can do a whole lot more because that one stool, I'm not involved in any one of those things. So, I try to use that analogy or that illustration with, my clients as well to help them understand why you should be spending your time over here doing this, but also what's important. What are the key things that are going to keep this business supported and upright versus collapsing and crumbling on the floor?
Man, I got a lot of takeaways from that. One of the big takeaways And I was guilty of this, especially in sales. And most all entrepreneurs are salespeople. You are a
Yes.
salesperson in the way that you are running your business and growing your business, and like I said, making sure all those three things are happening. You have to, when you're a salesperson, you got to make sure you're talking to the right prospect,
Yes.
because each of those things that you just stated have different functions, have different viewpoints. So, and I remember this, like I was doing a lot of information technology. Yeah, let's go talk to the CIO. Can't wait to talk to the CIO. Well, the CIO, a lot of time, the chief information officer, is usually working on things that are 3 to 5 years out, or they're working on projects that aren't even visible. So they're not even in production at that point. So depending on what you're selling, if you're selling someone a piece of equipment or something like that that is already in production and needs to be enhanced or something to that effect, then that's not the right person to really talk to. He might end up signing off possibly, but he has no intimacy about that. That's not really their role. So you need to talk to possibly either a VP of IT or the IT manager or someone software engineering, blah blah blah, down the line, so your audience. Getting back to what we kind of talked about it earlier, you got to know who you're talking to and what they're responsible for, and the kind of language that they're looking to. And I remember having a lot of executive training that I went through that they talked about that you have to have the right conversations with different people around what you're trying, especially if what you're doing is going to be an enterprise-wide change. And I used to do a lot with telephony systems, right? People are like, it's a telephone system. But everybody in the entire business operates that technology, and they all use it differently. And if you only design that system to work with just one type of department, you're going to find when you actually make the system live that these other departments are going to be like, what do? You move my cheese. This is all, this was not done right. So then you see a lot of that in key stakeholders, and you do these projects and you're like, oh, well, you didn't consult with them. You didn't talk to them. You didn't get their buy-in. You don't know how they all like. And then you wonder why these things fail, or they're very long in their cycle of deployment because you haven't taken into account everything that's really important. So long-winded answer for me to say that you've got to know your audience and make sure you're talking to the right person about the product or service that you have that'll help solve a problem, for that organization or individual.
I did a workshop 3 weeks ago, I think it was now, for sales managers, using these same concepts to teach them. So the whole concept of the workshop was pipeline management, how to manage your sales, your pipeline, to improve the performance of your sales staff, your sales team. And so I went through the exact same concept we're talking here about growing your business, that says this is why this is important. These exact same things if you want to have an effective sales team. And so one of the things I started with is all the myths around sales. Yeah, it's all a numbers game. How many times did you hear that, right? It's all a numbers game. Talk to a lot of people, you're going to make a sale. No, it's not. That's a myth, and it's wrong. Any lead's a hot lead. So just go get a lead. Da, da, da. All leads are created equal. Any lead's a good lead. Selling's not a team sport. A good salesperson can go out and find a client, find a lead, and close them. No problem. Which is another one. Always be closing. Always be closing. We got to do that. All of those things are just myths and wrong, and leads to bad performance. So, that whole numbers game is, if you're out there right now listening to Grant and I, and you're a business owner, and somebody asks you, who's your ideal customer or who's your target market, and your response is one of these things, everybody's needs what I do, or everybody needs what I have, or everybody's my target market, or fill in the blank with some other similar kind of thing, then you're off base. You don't know who your real target market is, and you're going to be unproductive in all of your sales activities, because everyone is not your target market. Everyone is not. Now, there's a difference, and I use this analogy. There's a difference between who do I call and whose call do I answer. So I'm going to call those people that I really want to talk to, that really want to talk to me, and da 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 da. Now, back in the old day, before we had caller ID and all that other kind of stuff, right? I might answer the call from whoever the bell rings, right? Oh, hello. Oh, now I may not stay on that call very long based on, do I want to hear what they have to say or whatever? But that's the difference between, again, who do I call and whose call do I answer? So as a business, I call those people who are my ideal target because I know they want to hear what I have to say. I will answer the call for those people who call me, and I can help them doing what I normally do. And so it's not a numbers game. It goes back to what you were saying before and what we were talking about. You really need to understand who your target market is, what their problems and pain points are, so that you can speak to them effectively. So you also know, well, who am I going after? These are my people. These are my tribe. These are the people who will love me when I show up, because I have value for them. What I do and the way I do it so uniquely helps them get their problem eliminated, or helps get that benefit that they were looking for that has eluded them so often. And that will also make it easier for me to convert, because once I'm talking to them, part of the selling is already done. It was, now they just needed to know I existed, because they already knew they wanted what I had. And so, most of the selling is done once I find them. I just need to make sure now my offer is compelling enough to bring them over. And there's some things that I need to do, yes, on that. But it's a large part of converting. So the find them, if I'm not doing that properly, it's going to make it harder to convert them. I just go out and find some warm body that just says, oh, they're a good lead. No, they're not. And I'm spending weeks and months trying to convert them. I'm going to meeting after meeting at their place. I'm talking to, the CEO, the president, the finance guy, and they're all like, I don't know. Maybe I'm so good of a persuader, and that's what I have to be. That's what they say a good salesperson is. I persuaded them. I convinced them. Fine. They bought my product the first time, and 6 months later, they stopped buying from me. So I'm back through that cycle all over again, wasting my time and an energy, wasting all those advertising dollars, wasting all that stuff. So there's no loyalty. There's no deepening of the relationship. So all of these things are connected. And it's the sooner that we understand that as business owners, and then start putting processes and systems in place that, start with who really wants and needs what I have and that I do uniquely, and how do I solve that problem or bring that benefit. When I understand that, every other decision starts flowing from that. Where do I market? Who am I? What is the message? What's my pricing? How am I designing my product or designing my service? What things do I offer in conjunction with that? What people do I hire, and what skills do they need to have? Who do I partner with? Every business decision. And that's why I say I'm a specialist at being a generalist. All of those things are important if you're going to manage the business effectively.
Well, this has been great. Great discussion. I think anyone listening to this has gotten a lot of great information and insight, and take a look at their own business and where that fits. Help us understand how to get in contact. First, I want you to answer this question. Describe to us your ideal client, and then also tell us how to get in contact with you in the best possible way.
Everybody's my no. So I particularly target, those companies that are, so who I call those companies typically that are 10 to 100 employees, and whose owners are typically frustrated, and 10 to 100 employees typically because they've got, significant amount of sales. They've kind of gone along the path of where they want to go, but they've stuck. They've gotten to a plateau. the owner is frustrated because, they have a vision of where they want to go. They have a belief that it can get there, but they can't figure out how to do that. They either don't have the knowledge themselves, or they don't have the resources to make that happen, haven't been able to figure it out, or maybe they've hired someone who said they could help them and didn't get it. So they're frustrated, but they're right on that precipice of being able to, really, kind of bust out. So those are the, kind of the company. So if you fit that, yeah, you're my target market. Whose call do I answer? Yeah, I'll answer calls for startups, pre-revenue, early revenue startups, small solopreneurs, and I work with them as well to help them. But that's usually because they've been referred to me, or they saw me doing a presentation or something of that effect.
Awesome. And how to contact you?
Contact me. Best way is starting with my website, solutionswithresults.com, solutionswithresults.com. On there, you'll be able to, go to my contact or ask Sydney, and you can put in your specific information about what your challenge is. I'll get that as an email. You can also get my email address on that website. You can get my phone number from that website. I'll give you it here as well. My email is Sydney, that's SIDNEY, W, so Sydney W at solutionswithresults.com. Or you can call me, and I'm in the US, so +1 718 791 8707, 718 791 8707. Love to hear from folks. Love to hear what your challenges are. Love to be able to, help you identify what your growth opportunity is. Pretty easy to work with. And again, I don't make it complicated. I make it pretty basic and simple.
All right. Well, this has been great, Sydney. Thank you so much for being on the Black Business Network. I see we've got Mr. Phillip is back. How are you doing?
Outstanding. I want to thank Mr. Sidney Worsby for all the nuggets that he provided us today, especially the three synergistic ones.
Yeah.
Find them, to catch them, and to serve them. That applies to everything in life, and I truly understand and appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thanks for listening. For everyone out there too, thanks for listening. So.
And to all the viewers, I want to thank you and ask that you donate to the Black.
First, we're gonna let Sydney go. We
Okay.
always say genius is common.
Genius is common.
I will see you on the other side. Thanks
Genius is common. I will see you on the other side. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, I want to thank Sydney Worsby again for the extraordinary presentation he gave with the three tenets in there that I think applies to everything. And that is to find them, to catch them, and to serve them. And we are serving you, and we're asking you to assist us in doing so through the Black Business Expo mission, is to raise money for seniors going to college and for those in K through 12 who are entrepreneurs. We can do that through the Black Business Expo USA.com, or you can do it through Cash App. Our goal is to provide laptops and about $5,000 to students. And the students can register at the Black Business Expo USA.com. Every dollar that you provide counts to remind you to donate to the scholarship program. Also, I want to give appreciation to the following sponsors of March 2024, NC 100, the Moody Capital Partners, the Sway Soul, the Lotus Ritchie Coaching and Training Program, Carolina and Virginia Minority Supplies Development Council, the STEP Management Program, the Hello LLC, the Barbara H. Smith LLC, the Maggie McLean Foundation and Corporation, the Genius is Common Earth Essentials 5-Star BDM Media, McLean Chenique Global, Executive Women's Success Institute, the Quality Coaching Company, Superwoman Business Services, Creative Force Studios, Lee Entertainment, Artistic App Design, and more importantly, yours exclusively, Black Business Expo USA. Genius is common.
It's 3 o'clock. am a child of the Most High God. He has gifted me in ways that I could not even imagine and didn't know.
There was a time when I didn't know who I was. I listened to other people tell me who I should be, what I should do. I listened to people telling me that I should be a boutique owner, that I should be a construction manager, that I should be a laborer. Have you ever felt like you should do something else, be something else, go somewhere else, be wherever you wanted to be, and you felt like you were in a box? Anybody in the room? And you couldn't get out? Anybody in the room? And you kept trying to go and you couldn't get out? Anybody in the room? But let me tell you, you need to rock the box. Rock the box.
I am engaging, inspiring, and empowering. I would give you everything I know. Just by touching you, if I could, by osmosis, give you every single thing I've learned, I've gone through, I know I would. We know that's not possible, but as it is possible, I love to share information with people.
Some of you out there, people have told you that you can't be, you can't have, you can't do. But I will tell you, like Kingston said, you can, you must, and you will. If it's to be, it's going to be me. You got to say it. If it's to be, it's going to be. If it's to be, it's going to be. If it's to be, it's going to be.
Barbara is because she believed what her mama said about her and not what other people told her.
Every day you wake up, when you're in a situation, it's your choice whether it's an advantage or the disadvantage.
She gained her confidence and her life, and now she is a testimony.
If I can help you elevate yourself, then I feel like I'm elevating my own.
Over the past few years, we've seen the growth of existing and new initiatives focused on financial inclusion, building global networks, and reducing the wealth gap in response to the idea there's not enough seats at the table. Whether their outcomes are to increase the representation of Black executives on corporate boards, ensure an inclusive global economy, or to create new U.S. African commercial pathways, the strategies are often carried out by separate programs. The question is, should they be? With the continent of Africa being home to more than half of the world's fastest growing economies, the youngest workforce, over 400 companies generating more than $1 billion annually, 700 generating more than $500 million annually that are poised for growth, and being the destination of nearly $5 billion in venture capital in 2021. Diversifying U.S. and Africa commercial engagement by building bridges between African businesses and their U.S. diaspora should begin being seen as mutually beneficial. From helping to reduce Africa's enormous capital gap to catalyzing two-way trade opportunities, the COVID-19 global pandemic hopefully has taught us that global challenges and opportunities are more interconnected than we thought. During the pandemic,
Hello, my name is Kiasi Helm and I'm 14 years old. I think my genius would probably have to be setting goals and achieving them. I say this because ever since I was young, I always wanted to be an author, and at age 11, I ended up achieving this. But not only did I end up becoming an author, I ended up becoming a public speaker, a publisher, a business owner, all these great things. The name of my business is Written by Kids Publishing Company. I decided to start this company because I thought it was important for me to help kids my age express themselves through literacy and just achieve their own goals. Because to me, achieving goals is the best thing in the world to feel. It's you just achieving things and aspirations that you set for yourself. And I know that everybody is capable of this because even if you don't end up achieving the goal, you still tried your best, and that's the most important thing. And everybody is capable of this because genius is common. Thank you.
Attention all entrepreneurs and companies. Are you looking for reliable and efficient virtual assistants and back office support to help you manage your business tasks? Look no further than Superwoman Business Services. Our team of virtual assistants provides a full range of administrative support services, including operations management, social media marketing, and much more. We also offer website design services to help you create a professional online presence that reflects your unique brand. In addition to administrative support and website design, we offer business development and structuring services to help you grow your business and achieve your goals. We'll work closely with you to identify areas of improvement and develop a customized plan to help you reach your full potential. At Superwoman Business Services, we understand that running a business can be overwhelming and time-consuming. That's why we're here to help you fly high and achieve success. Our virtual assistants are highly skilled, experienced, and dedicated to providing you with the support you need to thrive. Come fly with us and take your business to new heights. Let us help you become the superhero entrepreneur you are meant to be. Contact Superwoman Business Services today to learn more about our back office support services.
Over the past few years, we've seen the growth of existing and new initiatives focused on financial inclusion, building global networks, and reducing the wealth gap in response to the idea there's not enough seats at the table. Whether their outcomes are to increase the representation of Black executives on corporate boards, ensure an inclusive global economy, or to create new U.S. African commercial pathways, the strategies are often carried out by separate programs. The question is, should they be? With the continent of Africa being home to more than half of the world's fastest growing economies, the youngest workforce, over 400 companies generating more than $1 billion annually, 700 generating more than $500 million annually that are poised for growth, and being the destination of nearly $5 billion in venture capital in 2021. Diversifying U.S. and Africa commercial engagement by building bridges between African businesses and their U.S. diaspora should begin being seen as mutually beneficial. From helping to reduce Africa's enormous capital gap to catalyzing two-way trade opportunities, the COVID-19 global pandemic hopefully has taught us that global challenges and opportunities are more interconnected than we thought. During the pandemic, African companies like Unicorn Flutterwave, insurance provider Reliance Health, ride-hailing app Yasir, and 54Gene, the continent's first bank of DNA on people of African descent, proved that when African companies have access to networks, capital, and information, they grow big, grow fast, and create solutions that are valuable to the world. This is why BDirect was created. We are the first U.S.-based but African-centric board preparedness and board search company designed to connect U.S. Black talent and corporations to African businesses. Unique and fundamental to BDirect's success is our process of helping board candidates adapt their experience and networks to an African context before they're connected to high-growth companies that are looking to locally and globally scale. From our focus groups with African business execs and government leaders, we don't ignore the sentiment that business is easy, but people are hard. Having a pool of board candidates with hard-to-access networks and extensive experience across the business lifecycle, including successfully raising capital, is table stakes for an initiative like this. So yes, we have that. But corporate or entrepreneurial success in the U.S. does not guarantee success in Africa. Developed alongside industry partners on the continent, our training program, BDirect Prep, is designed to transpose their experience to create cultural comfort, understanding, and the commitment to helping businesses in Africa scale. Our board governance sessions are African continental and country specific, integrated with cultural awareness and dexterity training, masterclasses led by African industry execs, and mentoring and coaching from African continental-based facilitators. But even more unique to BDirect Prep, we cap off our training program with an immersion trip to help candidates that have not been to Africa before see and feel Africa's complexity and opportunity from African soil. We all know traditional network-based board placement has historically left a lot of us out of ever really being in the paid board pipeline. Our strategy supports the work of many great organizations that are successfully filling seats at U.S. board tables by creating more tables for those that are still left on the sideline. It's time to start seeing the role and value of U.S. Black talent and businesses on the continent of Africa differently. Old perceptions and habits limit economic inclusion. Let's transition Black talent and the African businesses they will support from the periphery of the global economy to its core. Living in a global lockdown, we all know now how fast local and global economies can change, and see the value of having businesses that hire, strengthen local value chains, and even grow globally. Status quo in any form holds back progress. We must democratize U.S.-Africa commercial engagement by socially and economically connecting cultures that have long been disconnected. It's time for Africa's U.S. diaspora to redefine their global value by helping African businesses scale continentally and globally.
Absolutely. So our coaching program help people that have the lack of time, that lack strategies, and lack the confidence to go after their dream life. So we help them implement tools. We help them implement, I love to leave the inherited lack of finances or the education behind finances. But it wasn't until I lost my firstborn, my only son, that life changed for me. And where I was going after it all, living the corporate life, hit my 6-figure income, and living in my dream house with my dream man, driving my dream car. Wow. I nearly lost it all when I lost my son. And so I realized it only takes one financial catastrophe that can change your entire life. That's what made me start All New Beginnings. Because no matter what's going on in life, there's a new beginning. And because of that, we develop a program called Wise Minded. My little slogan is, don't just dream it, let's live it. If they want to connect with you or work with you, what is the best ways for them to be able to do that? Well, for my social media guru, you can connect with me on every single social media platform as Tanya T. Wallace.
The African company and the African CEO is making a conscious decision to bring on someone external to the continent versus bringing on someone who is from Ghana or Kenya or South Africa. And so the skill sets of the people that we take through our executive leadership training program and ultimately on the placement, obviously have to be extremely high caliber. So what we look for are corporate executives at the vice president to C-suite level, as well as Black entrepreneurs. When we look at the Black corporate executives, we're looking for some very specific skill sets, whether that be around supply chain, sales and marketing, engineering, product development. We want our folks to be able to add immediate value to the corporate board, right? And the other thing is, even if they don't necessarily have specific industry experience, they're bringing a diversity of thought.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Tara Bush, and I am the co-founder and COO of the Hello LLC, where our mantra is helping everyone live life optimally. And more importantly, helping entrepreneurs leverage leading-edge optimizations. We help businesses build, brand, automate, and pivot into the future. With over 22 years of corporate C-level experience, I carry a wealth of knowledge and expertise in my professional portfolio. My professional journey has encompassed various facets of business, executive leadership, project management, marketing, systems, space planning, and strategy implementation. I have had the pleasure of partnering with and managing multi-million-dollar projects for the top Fortune 500 companies, prestigious universities, and well-known sports teams around the world, like ExxonMobil, Apple, Samsung, Citgo, HP, Ziegler Cooper, the Houston Astros, the Dallas Cowboys, Bank of America, and Vanderbilt University. What fuels my drive is a passion for innovation and creativity that knows no bounds. I thrive on pushing the boundaries and thinking outside the box to bring fresh, ingenious ideas to the forefront. I turn visions into reality. As a leader, I am a steadfast advocate for integrity and creativity. I am driven by a profound desire to help individuals and businesses create their own return on time investment while leveraging technology. At the Hello LLC, we are more than just a 3D digital marketing agency. We are a community committed to helping, building, and thriving together with integrity. We can either show you, teach you, or do it for you. We believe in the power of innovation to transform the status quo. My fellow professional powerhouses, in the spirit of abundance, I firmly believe that there is enough prosperity in this world for all of us to thrive together. So, I invite you to make the pivot because the future is already here.
I was born in a little village on the island of Haiti. Many deadly diseases pounded me. It is as if they were on a mission to end my existence on this earth. I refused to give up. In 1983, I left Haiti and came to the United States of America. And I came with $5, 2 shirts. I didn't speak in English. I came to Atlanta. I got a job. I was a doorman. I was a doorman with a dream. What I used to come on stage. I'd rehearse this moment that I'm standing in front of you. That's the power of a dream. Maybe today is the day you begin acting as if you already have it. And then step out with full force. Take a risk. No condition is permanent. Don't let your situation distract you. You are chosen. You are called. You are born for a purpose in this life.
Did you know women represent just 3% of Fortune 500 CEOs and less than 15% of corporate executives at top companies worldwide? Have you wondered what the secrets are to getting into the top ranks, whether in the private or public sector? Do you want to figure out how to stop being held back in your career or passed over for promotion? Then you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis, President and CEO of the Executive Women's Success Institute. I have decades of experience in the military, the federal government, and corporate America, and my mission is to help women succeed and tap into their full potential. I want to reach 1 million plus women around the world to become the leaders they are meant to be. So if you want to move into a management or executive level position, or maybe you are a female veteran transitioning out of the military into business entrepreneurship, then reach out to the Executive Women's Success Institute at 301-693-3284. Let us get you on the fast track to success.
What if you could build your own city? A place where every child can find nurturing people to help them achieve their full potential. A place where every adult can access job training support. Where health education is abundant. Where social justice ruled the land. A place without limitations. Welcome. You have arrived at STEM City USA. It is what every city should be. A safe and trusted community where you find people and resources to help you become everything you are and beyond. STEM City is unlike anything you have ever experienced. It is a digital twin of the world around you, only better. STEM City is about energy and soul renewal. It is more than a digital world. You can almost feel the power of live cultural events, music, and theater. STEM City promises a better future for children, with caring mentors and hands-on activities, with dedicated tutors to support our youth. STEM City is your passport to a healthy lifestyle, with weekly events addressing our community's many issues. STEM City is your financial well-being, with helpful information on wealth management, career advancement, job training, and so much more. STEM City is the community you deserve. It is the city where your dreams can come true. STEM City USA, a place in the sky that is accessible to all who reach for the stars.
Are you a forward-thinking entrepreneur or business owner? The world is changing faster than ever, and it's time to pivot and adapt to the future. Hello LLC is here to help you do just that. Hello stands for helping enterprises leverage leading-edge optimizations. Our innovative solutions can streamline operations, reduce overhead costs, and give you a competitive edge in a market projected to reach $5 trillion by 2030. By pivoting to the metaverse, businesses can tap into a rapidly growing market that is projected to be a significant part of daily life for 25% of Americans by 2026. As a full digital metaverse agency, the Hello LLC can help you create custom solutions to streamline operations, increase productivity, reduce costs, and drive brand recognition. Why should you pivot to the metaverse with the Hello LLC? By leveraging cutting-edge technology, you can provide immersive experiences for your customers, expand your global reach, and unlock new revenue streams. Contact us today to make the pivot.
If you live without income for the next year, 2 years, 3 years, maybe even 5 years, you might be thinking, well, that's a silly question. Well, is it?
Hello, I am Dr. Eric Kelly III, the visionary strategist and founder of the Black Business Olympics. I invite you to showcase your Black-owned businesses on the Black Business Network global stage. The Black Business Olympics is a global Black Business Network platform that propels Black-owned businesses into the international spotlight. By showcasing your business on the Black Business Olympics platform, you can reach a worldwide audience of potential customers, partners, and investors. You can also establish yourself as a thought leader and expert in your field, attract lucrative partnerships, and more speaking engagements. In addition, the Black Business Olympics platform provides a valuable opportunity to connect and collaborate with like-minded entrepreneurs and business professionals from around the world. This can lead to new business opportunities, ideas, and relationships. Finally, by sharing your story and expertise on the Black Business Olympics platform, you can inspire and empower others. This is a powerful way to make a positive impact on the world and leave a lasting legacy. If you are a Black-owned business owner, I encourage you to seize the opportunity to showcase your business on the Black Business Olympics platform. It is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to make an indelible mark on the world.
Over the past few years, we've seen the growth of existing and new initiatives focused on financial inclusion, building global networks, and reducing the wealth gap in response to the
I am Black Business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep. Yes, I am Black Business. I am Black Business. Tell me, are you Black Business? I am Black Business. Do you support Black businesses? Listen, I support Black business because I am Black Business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. the world. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black Business.
Good afternoon, business owners, entrepreneurs, thoughtful leaders, and corporations. Welcome to the Black Business Network. My name is Philip Newby, and I will be your moderator for the Black Business Network this afternoon. The Black Business Network is a 24-hour business platform showcasing Black businesses, business owners, entrepreneurs, and thoughtful, provoking leaders around the globe. We have speakers in North Carolina, London, Japan, Africa, Sydney, Singapore, and all over the United States. The Black Business Network is a global community. Its mission is to touch, move, and inspire and empower people about business and business ownership. Today, our next speaker will be Mr. Michael Polk Jr., an IT specialist with over 22 decades of IT experience. But that didn't expire Mr. Polk. Mr. Polk did not want to retain and maintain the traditional way of life. He became a business owner, creating his own business of Polk Training Solutions, LLC. He's a native from Ohio with 26 years successful marriage and 3 sons. And he's coming to you today to share with you his thought process and encourage you to take on his same process of not sustaining and maintaining the traditional way of life. Genius is common. I see you on the other side.
Philip, thank you so much for the introduction. Well, hello, everyone. I am Michael Pope, known as the Coach's Tech Guy. Very excited to be here today to talk to you all about a little bit about me, a little bit about my business. And really, I'm going to share some concepts with you today, really about marketing yourself. And this is geared mainly to coaches, speakers, really service professionals, entrepreneurs out there who are looking to attract more clients and have more success in their business and really get the message out. Like I said, I am Michael Pope. Very excited to be here today. I've got some great information to share with you. Our time is going to fly through. Feel free to add any comments you have to the chat, and we will get started from there. Like I said, this is really based on a book that I wrote a little over a year ago called Gadget's Guide to Marketing. So I'm going to share some of the key components from that book with you all today. And I'll invite you to really read the full book so you can get all of these concepts, because this is going to be very quick. I only have maybe 40 or so minutes with you today, but I think it's going to be powerful. And I think it's going to help you out. And so to get started, one of the things I'm going to do, I'm not going to play this video. Oh, yeah, I am. So I've had an opportunity. So I'm not going to play that interview right there. I had an opportunity to work with Mr. Les Brown personally, legendary motivational speaker, and he shares, and you'll have access to it once you get the book and in the handout that I'm going to provide with you later. But Les Brown talks about how he feels that I am able to help service professionals with my concepts because they're very simple, and I love that. And so what we're talking about is based on Gadget's Guide to Marketing. And like I said, it's the key to really attracting clients into your service-based business. It's a very simple process. And so getting started, the G in Gadget is all about grabbing the audience's attention. That's key. With anything that you do, as a service provider, as an entrepreneur, a Black business owner, right? We have to first grab our audience's attention. And I love what Gary Vee says about this, Gary Vaynerchuk. He says, attention is the new currency. If you're not grabbing your audience's attention, you're not getting their time or their money. And as entrepreneurs, obviously, we're looking to add value to the world, serve and solve problems. However, at the end of the day, we're asking people to give us the most precious things they have, which is their time and their money. So like Gary says here, attention is the new currency. If you're not grabbing your audience's attention, you're not getting their time or their money. So think about that. You're not getting their time or their money. So
I am Black business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black business. I am Black business. Are you Black business? I am Black business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black business.
The Black Business Expo is changing my life. This year, they are giving away laptops and even $5,000 in cash to students just like me. I'm Alexis, and I want to go to college to fulfill my dream of becoming an entrepreneur. Help the Black Business Expo going to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com and also becoming a vendor, a sponsor, or donating.
all right, well, welcome back, everybody. There's a commercial break there. And so, like I mentioned, right, we want to make sure that we're grabbing our audience's attention from the very start. So keep that in mind. And the framework that I like to use that, I actually learned it from another great marketer, Russell Brunson, talking about the hook, story, offer framework, which is very good. And so when you think about the hook, really what a hook is that attention-grabbing statement or quote or image that causes people to stop scrolling. You think about a lot of times we're marketing ourselves on social media. So if I'm on my phone and I'm scrolling through, every once in a while, something causes me to stop and take action. And so that's what we want to do. When we're talking about that hook, we want to have either that statement, maybe it's your power voice, or it's an image that you have that's causing your audience to stop and say, hey, I want to find out more about this person's business. That's that grabbing that hook. And you're going to focus on really the needs of your audience, their desires, maybe some of their pain points. Really, what problem is your audience trying to solve? And think about how can you help them solve it? Like what hook can you use to let them know that, hey, I can solve your problem? So just think about that. So here's an example. Let's say that you're a coach like I am, and maybe you're a confidence coach or an imposter syndrome coach. I could ask someone easily. I could say, hey, do you ever feel like you struggle with imposter syndrome, or maybe you don't speak up in meetings? If I have a post like that and you see it on social media, you might say, hey, yeah, that's me. I sound like, hey, maybe he can solve my problem. I want to learn more about that. Because that person may be struggling with imposter syndrome and they need that confidence added to them through your service. That's an idea. So when it comes to actually creating your hook, there's a couple things that you can do that I typically recommend to people. First, you want to define your target audience. I think this is key. You have to have clarity on who are you talking to? Who are you solving problems for? Because we can't just solve them for everybody, right? We have to have that focused clarity on who we're going to solve these problems for. That's very important. So number one, define your target audience. The next thing really is identify some of their needs, their desires, or their pain points, like I mentioned earlier. Right? What do they need help with? Have that clarity on how you can help them. Then the next thing is you want to create some type of compelling statement where when they see it or they hear it, they're like, man, that sounds like the solution to my problem. That causes them to reach in their pocket, grab that wallet, or to communicate with you because you've identified that, yes, you can solve their problem. So that's all a part of working on that hook, that compelling hook for people. So that's very important. So that's the hook in the formula. Next is the story. Story is key, right? We all love stories. We all grew up listening to stories, bedtime stories, stories from the Bible, right? Stories all over the place. People love stories. Movies are built on stories. And Les Brown said it best. He said, your audience is not interested in your product or your service. They're only interested in the story behind it. Because stories create emotions in us. They remind us of those times when we felt great. Or maybe those times when we had a challenge and we found a solution in the way it made us feel. That's the power of stories. So your goal as an entrepreneur, as a Black business owner, is to come up with those compelling stories that you can help really grab your audience's attention. Okay? And so you remember, your story is kind of where you connect with your audience, where they can feel that emotion and they realize, hey, you're the person who can help solve my problem. Now, one of the stories that I love telling whenever I'm doing a training on public speaking or overcoming fear or confidence, I love talking about my first time speaking on stage. And so I'll take you there. So I don't know about you all, but growing up, I used to be terrified of public speaking to the point where I would never speak up. I mean, I remember days sitting in meetings and asked for my opinion, and I wouldn't give it because of fear. Even though I would have the idea, I wouldn't speak up just because I was terrified. And so I'll never forget my first speech. It was the summer of 2003, and I was asked to give a short 4-minute talk about me, and I was absolutely terrified. That day, I sat in my seat anticipating being called up, and I came down with a bad case of the what ifs. What if I forget my lines? What if they don't like me? What if? And I heard my name get called up, and I slowly made my way to the front of the room. And I remember shaking hands with the person who introduced me and how nervous I was. I looked out at the crowd, and I saw the eyeballs looking back at me, and I literally thought that the people in the front row could see the butterflies fluttering in my stomach because of how scared I was. I remember grabbing my notes that day, and I grabbed a piece of paper and said, hello, my name is Michael. Those 4 minutes felt like 4 hours. When I was done, man, I still felt a little embarrassed. However, I knew that I was moving towards being a more confident speaker. I knew that I was on the right track. And thankfully, because there was a system in place to help me become a more confident communicator, I overcame that fear. So friends, I could use a story like that, and I can easily transition that into a confident speaking course or an imposter syndrome program that I'm having, or developing the leader within you program, right? I can easily take that story and tie it into an existing program. And that's the power of a story, because your audience can relate with you. So we got the hook, we've got the story. And then the next thing in that HSO or hook story offer formula is the offer. And so your offer is that solution that you provide to your audience. It is that compelling statement that you want to give them. And it's very important that your hook that you provide is in the form of a SMART statement, meaning it's specific, it's measurable, it's actionable, realistic, and time-based. That makes a powerful, compelling offer, because we're going to take your hook where you're grabbing their attention, your story, and your offer. And this is all ways that you're really holding on to your audience for their attention there. And so one of the formulas that I love using to really create compelling offers, anytime I'm doing a type of offer, is I'll have a duration. So the duration of my offer. So maybe hey, I'm doing a 12-week mastermind, a 12-week coaching program. 4, so who the target audience is for. So 4, speakers, coaches, trainers who are ready to, and then the solution. So who are ready to improve their confidence, improve their leadership skills, create a better communication at work, right? Develop better business strategies or attract more clients into their business, right? So whatever that solution is. So that's kind of the formula that I use. So A, duration, right? A, 2-week program, 6-week program, 3-month program. 4, who your target audience is for. Solution, who are ready to, and then whatever that solution is. So I use that formula, hook, story, offer, when I'm presenting something to really grab my audience's attention so they realize, hey, I'm in the right place. This is for me. That's very important. Help them out. So that's the first principle in the gadget formula here, that hook, story, offer. Moving on from there, I love talking about the audience itself because it's very important. As a service, as a Black business owner, as an entrepreneur, it's important that we have that clarity on our audience. So you have to know who your audience is. And let's face it, there's some people who they want to try to serve the masses. They want to serve everybody. And I'm that same way, right? I love people. I love helping people. However, it's a disservice for me not to have clarity on who my offer is for. So it's our responsibility to clearly let people know who our offer is for. Now, you may have different audiences for different offers. That's okay. But if I'm making an offer, if I'm trying to attract clients in, I've got to be able to let that client know, hey, you're the person I'm looking for. And then keep in mind that your audiences are all over. I saw a lot of people who have gotten really comfortable with attracting clients that they say, hey, I'm only going to do it on social media. And that's wrong, because you may be at the gas station and your ideal client, your best paying client may be right at the pump next to you pumping their gas, or inside. It could be the cashier, right? Their cousin. You just never know who they are. So you have to remember that your ideal clients are everywhere. So, but as soon as you have that clarity, you're able to see them. It's kind of like if you're looking to purchase a new car and you say, hey man, I'm gonna get this red car, a Mercedes, and you've got it in your mind, then when you're driving down the highway, you're gonna start spotting those cars. You're like, oh man, he has a car like the one I'm looking for, or he has a car like the one I'm looking for, right? Because your focus is there. That's the same way with having that clarity on who your audience is. And obviously, social media is a great place. And for any of my clients who are building their businesses on social media, I like to let them know, hey, if you're going to be developing your business on social media, then spend time on the platforms where your ideal clients are. You don't have to be everywhere on social media, because for some people, it's too overwhelming, right? If you know that your ideal clients are on LinkedIn, then specialize in that. Learn all about LinkedIn. Learn how to properly utilize LinkedIn. Make sure you have a fully optimized profile, that it tracks people, that when people come to your LinkedIn profile, they know, hey, he's a speaker. He solves this problem. That's a good fit for me, or that's a good fit for my friend, right? Have that clarity for people. If that's where your ideal client is, then that's where you should be at, making your offers and advertising and optimizing your profile. So let's keep that in mind. Your ideal client may be at networking meetings. So maybe you need to go and do some networking to connect with people, so you can really connect with the people, the decision makers that you're looking for. Have that clarity. It's very important. Another way that I love attracting my ideal audience is through speaking. There's so much power in the words that come out of our mouth. So as a speaker, as a coach, as a Black business owner, even if your business is not about speaking and training, I still encourage you to use your voice. Go to places and speak. Share your message. Let people kind of know who you help, how you can help them. Take time and do that. There's so much power. There's so much connection that's made from the voice. We're in a world today where people are creating AI videos and AI images, and they're losing that authenticity. But when you can stand up and you can talk with confidence about your service, about what you do, you create trust with people. You create trust in a time when people are kind of afraid to trust people because there's so much fake stuff going on. So we want to make that connection. So I encourage you, look for opportunities to speak. I love looking for opportunities to speak, whether it's on a podcast, a video show, speaking at a Rotary Club, a Toastmasters Club. There's lots of service organizations. I'm doing a training later tonight for Black Achievers here in Ohio, right? Opportunities to speak in front of people who are looking for your message, looking for what you offer. So let's keep that in mind. Okay. And that's the G. I'm not going to cover all of the gadget because of time, but one of the other ones that I want to cover is there's another G in the gadget formula, and it's all about goals. I'm a big component. If you are looking to really grow your business, attract clients to you, it's very important that you get into a habit of setting goals. Because what gets measured gets done. So it's very important to have some clear goals of, hey, what are you looking to accomplish? That's very important. It saves you so much time by having that clarity. I'm a big component of that. And I love what Brian Tracy says. He talks about the importance of having SMART goals. And he talks about how when you have those SMART goals, they're going to give you that fuel that you need to achieve them. And then, like I said, it has to be SMART, meaning it's specific, measurable, attainable, reachable, and time-based. Very, very key. So as an example, let's talk about specific. Let's say that I'm coaching someone and they have a goal of attracting new clients. And the person says, hey, yeah, I would love to get 6 new coaching clients in the next 90 days. Well, that is a very specific goal that we can work towards, right? We kind of know what the goal is, 6 clients, 90 days. Then the next thing I would do is talk to her about, hey, let's figure out how we can measure that. And with this, it really comes down to her understanding her numbers, or him understanding his numbers. So in order for you to get 6 clients, how many people do you need to talk to? How many discovery calls do you need to have? So hopefully we have some numbers in place. If not, we can guesstimate and get some numbers, maybe a larger range. But we want to have it where it's measurable, where we're going to be tracking that progress along the way. And so the ideal goal is that for her to have a plan to say, if she says, hey, for every 10 conversations I have, 1 person becomes a client, then that becomes a measurable goal. And we know that, okay, we need to have her talk to 60 people in order to get 6 clients in that case. And so that becomes the goal over the next 90 days. Measurable, attainable, right? It has to be attainable and or actionable as well. It has to be something that she's capable of doing, that she has the skill set already. She has the process in place where she can do it. We want to make sure that we know that so that we can measure it. And then realistic is very important. Anytime I'm meeting with a client and they're talking about a goal that they have, I like to ask them, like, do you have a proven record of doing anything like that? And just to find out whether, and then also I like to ask, hey, are you really willing to do the work? So here's what we think it's going to take for you to achieve that goal. Are you really willing to do the work? Because that's key. Because some people set big goals, but they're not willing to do the work, right? They're going to make excuses. They're not going to get off the couch and do what needs to be done. They're not going to go talk to people or make the phone calls or be willing to risk failure. So you have to be honest with yourself. Hey, is it really realistic for me to achieve this goal? Can I do it? Do I have the skill set? Do I have the physical ability? Am I willing to take the no's and the rejections and go overcome my fear and self-doubt to achieve this goal? Hopefully the answer is yes, right? Hopefully for your business, the answer is yes. And then, of course, time bound. You want to have a specific time frame to hit it because it creates that sense of urgency in you. And so an example we're talking about now, we're talking about a 90-day time frame. So we know when the end result has to be done. So it like I said, it creates that urgency where you're not going to say, oh, I can do it later, because you're like, no, every day matters. And we should take life like that, right? That every day matters, meaning we should focus on doing it now versus later and later and later. So I really want you to grasp that, so you fully understand that. And if you do something like that, you will end up with a nice smart that you can look at and quickly be able to say, this is my SMART goal. If my SMART goal is to get 6 new clients in the next 90 days, I need to do this. I'm going to measure it by tracking the number of calls, the number of reach outs that I do, right? So it'll be very, very specific, very measurable, and you know that you're willing to do the work for it. So that's very, very important. Okay. And so we talked about grabbing your audience's attention. We talked about identifying who your key audience is. And of course, we talked about those goals, setting those SMART goals for you. Then there's a lot of other areas with the Gadget Guide to Marketing that can really help you out. In the interest of time, I don't really want to cover all of those, because I don't like to give you those small bits and pieces of information for all of them, right? So I just really give you the main key components of that Gadgets Guide. But one last thing that I like to share with you about this is really, when it comes to attracting clients into your business, it's very important to have a system in place of attracting or enrolling new clients. So that's really what the E is. E is all about enrolling new clients for your service base, for your entrepreneur business. And the model that I use for this is called the cash model. It's a very simple model that I use all the time, and it works really well. It's a proven system. It's modeled after the value ladder concept that a lot of marketers use. So cash is an acrostic, CASH. The C in cash stands for complementary. And so this is where I'm offering some type of complementary service, where it could be a free speaking engagement that I'm doing, right? Free webinar that I'm doing, free workshop that I'm doing. So as an example, this past Saturday, I offered a free LinkedIn optimization workshop. It was a 90-minute workshop. I had 81 people register for it. A little over 40 showed up live. Several other people have watched the replay since then. And I was able to take that free workshop and, using the concepts that I talked about today, monetize that to make a few $1,000s in a very short period of time. Just a quick monetization off a free workshop that I just quickly decided to do. But that's using the cash model. So like I said, C is complementary. So what can you do complementary? Whether it's a one-on-one coaching service. Restaurants use it all the time, right? They give you something complimentary, knowing that once you come in, you're going to invest at the next level. So A in the cash model is all about affordable. It's having an affordable plan where someone can go from that basic complimentary section up to the affordable model. So it could be a membership or a low offer workshop that you're offering. Maybe you got a low cost workshop or webinar you're doing. It could be a book. It could be a digital product that you've created, a course. So that's in an affordable model. S in cash is all about a series. So this is where you're looking to create that ongoing business with people. And so it could be a mastermind or a membership that you've got. So a monthly membership works really well for series. I know I'm starting a 6-week mastermind with a leadership mastermind for Black men that I'm doing. It's part of the Black Achievers. So that is a series program. And really the goal, so we went from complimentary to affordable to series. The price goes up at each level. And the goal is you're adding so much value at each level that the person says, man, if he gave me this for free, right? I wonder what the next level is like. And even at the series level, I want them to say, hey, man, if he gave us so much value at this level, I wonder what working with him one-on-one is going to be like. Because you're adding value each step of the way. Then moving on to the H very quickly. H is all about that high ticket value. So it could be your high ticket coaching program. Maybe you've got a 6-month coaching program, 12-month coaching program. It could be a larger group training session. I know I do some of those. So I remember I have several, a couple full-time, not full-time, but 12-month coaching contracts that I'm doing for different organizations. So you could do something like that as well, where it's more that high ticket level, where you're serving people for a longer period of time. And the challenge that I see what a lot of people do is when they jump into this type of business, a service-based business, a lot of times they want to go straight to high ticket. However, that doesn't work if your self-image isn't there yet, which is why I love helping people out with this cash model, because it takes you where you are, especially if you're brand new to being an entrepreneur. Hey, maybe you were making 6 figures in corporate America, you were confident there, but now as a solopreneur, an entrepreneur now, you're like, hey, I've got a lot of things to figure out. You can start at that cash level, adding value, increasing price, adding value, increasing price along the way until you'll have regular high ticket clients. I have people to come to me now and they go straight to that high ticket level because I have enough social proof and I have enough confidence in what I do to get there. But it's not for everybody. So friends, I know my time is almost up with you today. So I hope that you've gathered something from this gadget model that I talked about here. And I encourage you, hey, the main thing I want to encourage you to do is if you want to learn more about me, you can go to michaelpopetraining.com, learn more about my resources, how I can help you. Then also, I encourage you to get the book, Gadget's Guide to Marketing. Like I said, I truly believe that it would help you. Any type of business you're running, you're going to gain some valuable information from that book. It is a great guide that I was able to put together. And I truly, truly, truly believe that it would help you out. Okay. So with that, guys, I am done. Like I said before, my name is Michael Pope. The Coach's Tech Guy is what I'm known as. Very happy. Philip, welcome back. Thank you, sir.
Mike, I want to thank you so much for your expertise and your book that you've written. It grabbed your first lady's attention. It's grabbing your son's attention. You're not a traditional guy. That's what I love about you. You definitely grabbed my attention.
Yes.
I tell you, thank you again. And genius is coming. I'll
Yes.
see you on the other side.
Thank you.
Sometimes you got to hear the news from the Black perspective, and more specifically, Black publishers. And that's exactly why you have to download the Hey Tie app, the largest mobile app delivering breaking news, videos, and podcasts from 200 of your favorite Black publishers. Yes, 200 Black publishers delivering news as it happens, literally all in one app. Go to HAYTI.com or download the app in the Google Play Store or Apple App Store. It's completely free, along with information that you can trust, so go check them out.
Have you ever seen a parent stressed out and needed a stress reliever with their child? One morning I was coming out of a store and saw a mother and her 3 or 4-year-old son. She was highly upset, actually beginning to yell at him. However, the more upset she became, it seemed the calmer the child became. He sat down on the sidewalk, crisscross applesauce, folded his arms, and looked up at her with a smile. You see, the angrier she became, the calmer he became, because he had the control of the situation. Hi, I'm Frizelma Lynn. I am the CEO and founder of Frizelma Teaching Parents, LLC. I'm a retired teacher, school district administrator, an author, speaker, and I am the parenting 911 coach. My mission is to rescue families by equipping parents with proven, effective, and practical strategies to enhance their parenting skills. Many times we as a society expect parents to teach, train, and raise their children without providing the necessary tools they need to accomplish this. However, parenting issues cannot be resolved without intervention. Therefore, Frizoma Teaching Parents has provided coaching programs, digital courses, and live webinar trainings to provide step-by-step research-based parenting strategies, even for parents whose children are disrespectful, defiant, for those who have been diagnosed with ADD and ADHD, and even for parents of adult children. No longer will you have the need to feel like you are a failure as a parent. You'll now have the tools needed for each situation. Trust me on this one. Go to www.parenting911.org. Book a 15-minute strategy session with me or choose one of the coaching programs. Our training helps parents relieve stress.